When Michael Jordan walked into a fast food restaurant for a quick meal, he never imagined he'd come face to face with the one person who once changed his life and now needed help. Their unexpected reunion would spark an extraordinary act of friendship that would transform an entire community, proving that sometimes the most meaningful victories happen far from the spotlight. Have you ever lost touch with a friend who once changed your life? What would you do if you met them again today? Drop a "if this story breaks your heart" or "if it restores your faith in humanity." Comment 1 if you think Marcus will accept Michael's help. Comment 2 if you think his pride will make him walk away. Michael Jordan was exhausted, the bone-deep weariness that comes from back-to-back meetings and red-eye flights. His private jet had touched down in Wilmington, North Carolina just hours ago, and all he wanted was to collapse into his hotel bed. But his empty stomach had other ideas, growling loudly as he drove through familiar streets. The golden arches of McDonald's appeared ahead, and Michael guided his sleek black Range Rover into the parking lot. Fast food wasn't his usual choice, but something about being in his hometown made him crave the simple comfort of a burger and fries from his youth. "Need the cap," he muttered, reaching for his baseball hat. Even at 61, Michael couldn't go anywhere without being recognized. With the cap pulled low over his eyes, he entered the bustling restaurant. "Welcome to McDonald's. May I take your order?" The cashier asked mechanically, not looking up. "Quarter pounder with cheese, large fries, and a Diet Coke," Michael replied, keeping his voice low. While waiting for his food, Michael's gaze drifted toward the kitchen. The staff moved with practiced efficiency, taking orders, preparing food, cleaning counters. His eyes settled on an older man working the grill. Something about him seemed strangely familiar. The man was tall and lean, with shoulders that still looked powerful despite his age. His movements were precise as he flipped burgers with a rhythm that spoke of years of practice. Michael tilted his head, trying to place him. When the man turned slightly, Michael caught his profile and his heart skipped a beat. Those cheekbones, that strong jawline, the way his brow furrowed in concentration. Even with salt and pepper hair and lines etched around his eyes, Michael would recognize Marcus Williams anywhere. "Order number 42, called another worker. Michael collected his food in a daze, his appetite suddenly forgotten. He found a booth with a clear view of the kitchen and sat down. Marcus Williams, his first real friend, the boy who had taught him how to dribble between his legs when his hands were barely big enough to control the ball. The friend who had vanished without explanation right before high school. And now here he was, flipping burgers at McDonald's. Michael watched as his old friend wiped sweat from his brow, checked the grill temperature, and called out instructions to a younger co-worker. There was dignity in his movements, a pride in doing his job well. 1,000 questions raced through Michael's mind. What happened to Marcus after he left? Why was he working here at this age? Did he ever continue playing basketball? Did he have a family? Did he ever think about Michael? Michael took a bite of his burger, barely tasting it. He remembered how quick Marcus had been on the court. "Fluid like water," he used to say. Marcus had been the neighborhood star, the one everyone predicted would make it big someday. Now Michael Jordan was a billionaire, one of the most famous athletes in history, while Marcus Williams was working a minimum wage job at McDonald's. Life's strange turns haunted Michael as he watched his old friend work. A young employee dropped a tray of cups, the crash startling Michael from his thoughts. He watched as Marcus hurried over to help clean up, patting the embarrassed teenager's shoulder. "Don't worry about it, Jason. Happens to everybody," Marcus said, his voice carrying across the restaurant. That voice deeper now, but with the same gentle strength Michael remembered. Marcus had always been kind, even when the other kids weren't. Michael's hand tightened around his cup. He should go say hello, just walk up and call out to him. But what would he say after all these years? "Hey, remember me? The kid you taught basketball to, who became famous while you ended up here?" No, he couldn't do that to Marcus, not with customers watching and coworkers listening. His old friend deserved better. Michael noticed Marcus limping slightly as he walked back to the grill, just a small hitch in his step. But Michael's trained eye caught it immediately. An old injury, arthritis, the result of years on his feet. The overhead lights reflected off Marcus's name tag, making it shine momentarily. Michael's chest tightened with emotion. This man had believed in him when nobody else did, had seen something special in the skinny kid who couldn't even make his high school varsity team initially. "You got heart, Mike," Marcus used to tell him. "That's what counts. All the skill in the world don't mean nothing without heart." Michael finished his meal slowly, memories washing over him like waves. Countless hours spent on the cracked concrete court near Marcus's house, the way Marcus had shared his precious basketball, a real leather one. His father had saved up to buy the secret handshake they'd invented that summer when Michael was 11. Customers came and went as evening deepened. Michael ordered another drink just to have a reason to stay. He watched as Marcus checked his watch, said something to a coworker, and disappeared into the back. A few minutes later, he emerged without his McDonald's cap and apron, clocking out for the night. Michael slumped lower in his booth as Marcus headed for the door. Through the window, he watched his childhood friend walk to an old blue Honda in the corner of the parking lot. Marcus stretched his back before getting into his car. Long after the blue sedan had disappeared down the street, Michael remained in his booth, staring at nothing, his food cold and forgotten. He knew he wouldn't be able to sleep tonight, not after seeing Marcus, not with all the memories flooding back and questions swirling in his mind. Michael Jordan, six-time NBA champion, billionaire businessman, global icon, sat alone in a McDonald's booth in his hometown, feeling like that uncertain 13-year-old boy again. The boy who had lost his best friend without warning. The boy who had channeled that confusion and hurt into becoming the greatest basketball player the world had ever seen. Tomorrow, Michael decided. Tomorrow he would come back. Tomorrow he would talk to Marcus Williams. Michael returned the next day, and the day after, watching Marcus work from afar, gathering courage. On the third day, he finally approached his old friend as Marcus was mopping the floor near closing time. "Marcus Williams?" Michael said, removing his cap. Marcus looked up, recognition dawning slowly in his eyes. "I know who you are, Mike," he said softly. "I recognized you the first day you came in. Why didn't you say anything?" Michael asked. Marcus's smile turned sad. "What was I supposed to say? Hey, world-famous billionaire, remember me? The guy flipping burgers at McDonald's? We used to play basketball together when we were kids." The words stung, but Michael understood. They arranged to meet after Marcus's shift ended. At a quiet diner nearby, the two men began bridging the decades that separated them. Marcus explained how his family had been forced to move suddenly, his father falsely accused of theft at work, the family fleeing in the night, changing their name slightly from Williams to Williamson. "We kept a low profile for years," Marcus explained. "I wanted to say goodbye to you, Mike. I begged my parents to let me call you, but they were too scared. Said we couldn't risk anyone knowing where we'd gone." Marcus's life story unfolded over coffee and pie. Marriage at 20. For children. A series of jobs that never paid much but kept food on the table. His wife Sandra had died from cancer 10 years ago, the same year Marcus was injured in a car accident that left him with a permanent limp. "Life happens how it happens," Marcus said with quiet dignity. "My kids turned out good, and that's what matters." As they parted that night, Michael felt both satisfied and unsettled. He had found his friend, but now what? What could he possibly do to make up for the vastly different paths their lives had taken? Over the next weeks, Michael met with Marcus regularly, learning more about his friend's life and dreams. Marcus revealed that he had always wanted to work with kids, teaching basketball but also providing guidance and support. "I'd create a place where kids could come after school," Marcus said, his eyes lighting up. "Somewhere safe with basketball courts, but also tutoring, computers, healthy meals. Some kids don't get dinner if they don't make it themselves." The passion in Marcus's voice sparked an idea in Michael's mind. Within days, he had set his plan in motion, purchasing a vacant department store in downtown Wilmington, hiring architects and contractors, setting up meetings with Marcus's children to collaborate on their father's surprise. 6 months of intense, secretive work followed. Michael extended his stay in Wilmington, directing the renovation while maintaining his regular friendship with Marcus, carefully avoiding any hint of his plans. Finally, the day came. Michael invited Marcus to see something important, driving him to the renovated building in downtown Wilmington. There, gathered on the sidewalk, were Marcus's children, local officials, and the staff Michael had hired. Michael handed Marcus a key. "Open it," he said simply. Confused, Marcus unlocked the door. Inside was a state-of-the-art youth center with basketball courts, computer labs, classrooms, a kitchen, and game rooms. On the wall hung a sign, "Williams Jordan Youth Center. You taught me my first crossover dribble on a cracked concrete court," Michael said softly. "You believed in me when nobody else did. This center isn't just my gift to you, Marcus. It's my way of making sure other kids have someone who believes in them too." Tears streamed down Marcus's face. "I don't know what to say, Mike." "Say you'll run it," Michael replied. "That's all I ask." Marcus learned that Michael had arranged everything: a salary 3 times what he made at McDonald's, positions for his children in the center's operation, training in nonprofit management, and a $5 million trust to fund the center for the next 10 years. In the trophy room, Michael had placed 2 treasured items: the worn leather basketball Marcus's father had bought him for his 13th birthday, and their childhood pact written on yellowed notebook paper. "We, Marcus Williams and Michael Jordan, promise to practice every day and make it to the NBA someday." One boy had kept that promise. Now they would create a new legacy together. A year later, the Williams Jordan Youth Center had become a vital part of the Wilmington community, serving hundreds of children with programs that went far beyond basketball. Marcus worked tirelessly, his natural talent for mentoring and teaching finally finding its perfect expression. On the anniversary of the center's opening, the 2 friends stood on the rooftop, looking out over the city where they'd both grown up. Below them, the sounds of bouncing basketballs and children's laughter drifted up from the gym. "Listen to that," Marcus said. "That sound, that's what matters now. What happened back then led us here to this moment. I wouldn't change it." Michael nodded, understanding. The past had shaped them both, brought them to this shared achievement. 2 lives that took wildly different paths, now reconnected to create something meaningful together. In the gym below, a young boy hit his first successful jump shot, his face lighting up with the same joy young Michael had felt decades ago on a cracked concrete court under the watchful eye of his friend. Sometimes the greatest victories happen far from the spotlight, when we remember where we started and reach back to lift others up along the way. If this story touched your heart, hit the like button and share it with someone who might need a reminder that it's never too late to reconnect. Where are you watching from? Let us know in the comments below.